Welcome to the Dixie Belle YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be giving this particle board dresser a completely new look. I start by sanding off all the bubbles on the top. Then I sand some of the uneven areas on the body. Then I remove all that old hardware. I take out the drawers and I thoroughly clean the entire piece with Dixie Belle's White Lightning Cleaner. Then I use Dixie Belle's Mud to fill in any of the spots where the particle board is showing. I also fill in the hardware holes because I'm going to add new hardware. And a couple hours later, when it's all dry, I come back and I sand it flush. Then I'm using Dixie Belle's bonding boss in the color white on the front of the drawer. I'm almost out of the bonding boss, so I'm just going to use the white on the fronts, use what I have left over, and then the rest of it, I'm going to use the clear bonding boss for the rest of the piece. I want to make sure that I had that white because I'm adding a decoupage paper. For my decoupage medium, I'm using Dixie Belle's Clear Coat in Satin, and I like to apply this in rows. This is the new Lily Pad Decoupage Paper, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I spritz a little bit of water on my decoupage paper, and that's so that it stretches out a little bit. Then I apply my row of clear coat underneath the paper, and right now I'm using bubble wrap because I don't have any plastic wrap, but if I had some plastic wrap, I would just use that to rub on that decoupage paper. And then I am folding it underneath here. So I use quite a bit of water so that I can pull it and get those wrinkles out. If you find that you're getting way too many wrinkles, I like to spritz the paper because then it stretches it out a little bit. It stretches those fibers and you can get those wrinkles out. But I also have a little technique that I'm going to show you to make sure that if you find that you've got way too many wrinkles in your paper and you don't like the way it looks, even after it's dried, you can take your heat gun to it and it's almost like magic. Like you could see right here, they're just disappearing. You want to be careful though that you don't keep the heat gun too close or in one spot at a time because you will burn the decoupage paper. So you just have to keep it moving. Now for the top drawer, I'm going to fold it over. You could sand it off if you'd like or cut it off, but I'm just going to fold it over. And a couple hours later, I come back and I clear coat over the top of the decoupage paper. I always wait until the underneath is dry. It's way easier for me to handle the decoupage paper when it's dry. And now for painting. I'm painting a base coat on the front of the dresser in all the white spots in Palmetto. That's the chalk mineral paint. And when I'm applying the chalk mineral paint, I usually have my water mister in one hand and my brush in the other hand. And once that first base coat is dry, then I'm coming in with a variety of different colors. All the products used in this video will be linked in the description box down below. When I started this, I really didn't have a technique in mind. I wasn't sure how I was going to paint this, and sometimes that's how it goes. As I'm going along with the piece, as I'm painting, I figure it out. So right here, I just don't really know what I'm doing. I'm kind of taking different colors and trying different things out. I'm stippling, I'm moving the brush back and forth. I'm just figuring it out. So I still don't really know what I'm doing here, and it's up until this point right here where I decided I know what I want to do. I add some of that plum crazy and then it all just comes together after that. So don't be afraid to just go in with a few colors and try some stuff out, because if you don't like it, you can just paint over it. Paint your base coat again and start from the beginning. And here's what it looks like by the time I'm done with the front of it. Look at all these colors I just messed around with. I didn't use them all, and all the different brushes. I just tested different techniques out. And then for the top and the sides, I'm using a base coat of the Antebellum Blue. And the technique I'm doing on this side is the same technique I did on the top and then on the other side. I'm just gonna go in and put a bunch of drips over my base coat. And then once I have all the different colors and all the drips, and I've wiped some of it back, put more of it on, and when I like the way that it looks, I use a dry brush and I smooth it out with the dry brush. And I give it more of, it's not just like this distinct drippy look, but it's giving it just a variety of different colors. It's almost like, kind of like that Aurora Borealis. Just a very pretty blend. Now to seal the entire piece, I'm using Dixie Belle's Clear Coat in Satin, and I'm applying this with my brush. I'm applying it in rows, and I'm just making sure that everything looks nice and even. I'm not really worried about any streaking because it's such a creative finish that you really wouldn't be able to see if there were streaks. Then I add some legs to get it off the ground and add some height, and I needed to add new hardware. I couldn't find any I liked, so I made some with resin and dried flowers. And you remember what we started with? And here it is today. I absolutely love this decoupage paper. I think that it's really fun to work with, and if you want to start creating pieces that feel artistic and you're just beginning, this is a great place to start. Don't be afraid to try new techniques, to add different colors. And remember that if you make a mistake, you can always let it dry and paint right over it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.